Alright, welcome to FusionPit Presents. I'm Alec.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Joseph.
And we are talking about the new Waves of Leviathan demo that they just gave FusionPit not too long ago. Now, this demo, it's a 3-track demo, and it has a lot of start-stop riffs, which is, I want to say, almost common in Deathcore, but the way they do it, it doesn't come off as breakdownish like most Deathcore bands. When they do these start-stop, almost groove-ish riff, it gives us an interesting rhythm that usually is followed up by these quicker, more aggressive, intricate riffs. The drums do follow these groove-ish rhythms almost note for note, and it gives off almost a groove metal vibe without actually being groove metal, if that makes any sense. The vocals, me and Joe talked about this, and we agreed that the higher pitched screams almost are reminiscent of black metal.
Well, black metal, and very much of Chuck Schuldiner, actually, from Death. He did a lot of that as well.
And we were talking, you said, it almost reminded you, which album did you say it reminded you from Dark Throne?
From Dark Throne, the clean vocals reminded me a lot of, on Circle of Wagons, Those Treasures Will Never Behold You. It reminded the cleaner vocals reminded me a lot of the clean vocals during the chorus of that.
I feel like it's because those cleaner vocals were really more, they were more dismal and a lot more brooding than the really low, almost gutturals. I thought I heard a few pig squeals. I don't know if that was just me.
I actually think I heard some too.
I must have missed that on there. I didn't hear anything that sounded much like a pig squeal to me, but
it could
then
just
again,
be.
I was in a band at one point that started a song literally yelling "Brie" at the beginning of a song.
Yeah.
So I may have been desensitized.
But nevertheless, these really low, guttural growls that he was just ripping through were so fantastic. I am a huge sucker. I don't know if anyone has caught on to this. I am a huge sucker for lower end screams and growls and gutturals. You tell me a band.
As we know.
Yeah. Shh, let me rant. Now, with Waves of Leviathan, they are a deathcore band, but again, they don't have the
very stereotypical
deathcore, yeah, the very stereotypical deathcore band sound. They have a more unique tone to their guitars and a more unique groove to their rhythms.
Speaking of tones and whatnot, I was actually very impressed of the recording of this. When usually I hear demos, it's quite lo-fi, and usually with the drums I have a hard time, just being able to pick out the distinct hits on a drum because they'll just mesh together. But with this, the drums were recorded pretty well, and it didn't sound like a wall of sound with some vocals over it. And whoever did the recording, kudos to you.
I highly agree with that. I feel like this demo, the quality of the production came out almost near studio quality. And, when it just makes it that much easier when we're trying to pick at it and find out what's actually going on behind these tunes, it just makes it a lot easier. And with that being said, I did have one issue with it, and that was more or less with the clean vocals, with the dismal clean vocals. And I just feel like, although they did play it off well, clean vocals just aren't really, to me, they don't.
I'm going to be honest, I quite enjoyed it. We know how much I love Dark Throne, so comparing it to that was quite a compliment. I would say I thought it fit incredibly well, and I don't think I've heard a metal band in a while that I listened to and had a similar reaction that I did to this, and I think that just added to that song in general.
And I hear what you're saying, but sometimes, don't get me wrong, the transitions into the clean singing and
they're fantastic.
Yeah, they were amazing. The transitions, there was nothing wrong with it. It was just, to me, when it's something hugely heavy going on like they've been doing, and then out of nowhere these clean vocals start popping up, I'm like, okay.
The only thing for me is it didn't really seem all that clean, but it seemed, like I said, much more like a deeper sounding vocal, and I think that's why it fits.
That much better?
I'm not gonna, call out, Bring Me the Horizon as an example of terrible clean vocals in a song like I usually do, but I've never liked them, and I think there's a very large difference between this type of clean vocals and that.
And, you know, like I said, nothing wrong with the
Oh, by the way, I just called out a band that I didn't like. I'm sorry.
No one
No
likes
worries.
them. No one, not even Bring Me the Horizon likes Bring Me the Horizon. Now, another thing that I really enjoyed about this album is it doesn't take itself too seriously. There are a lot of moments on here where I'm like, okay, like in the intro of I Am the Liquor, you just get this, we are assholes, and I'm like, what?
I'm gonna admit I've smiled a lot when I heard that.
Or like the third track, Hitchhiking to Hoth for the Galactic Orgy. What was that one lyric you pointed out?
Carbon about a carbonite condom, and I thought that was great. That's honestly, I love the sense of humor that this had in the middle of being an incredibly heavy demo. It was great. It was refreshing, as I said earlier. It
was heavy. It had a lot of great riffs, a lot of these start-stop rhythms, but it also it sounded like they were having fun with it. They weren't just uptight going, okay,
we gotta get this done. We gotta get this done.
This has to be perfect. This has to be like, you know.
Oh, you mean like you?
Yeah. And I'm not going to knock bands like Within the Ruins who are technical like that, who sound like they're doing it
and they're great.
Perfect.
Within the Ruins has done great stuff, but
exactly.
No, instead we're going to knock you and your OCD when it comes to
perfection.
You, no offense, man, but you do labor over two measures for 2 weeks.
I'm sorry. I like to make sure I'm writing good stuff.
It's all good.
What you do, but
it's all good. No, it's all good. It's how you write.
But yeah. This has been Waves of Leviathan, new demo. I thought it was a great album, great demo. I'd give it 6, 7 out of 10.
I would actually give it an 8, I'm going to be honest.
I'll agree with Joe on that one.
All right.
I will say first, I actually managed to see them live with Arm for Apocalypse and a few other bands back in Chico a while ago. I'm gonna get hit for that, but I will admit when they played live, they really, really had fun with it. They were one of the only 2 bands that were not afraid for us to go, come on guys, get up close to us.
Well, it sounds like they're very charismatic live, like they are in, I feel like.
Oh, definitely.
The only other thing I think we should mention is they do have a music video, and you should check out their Facebook page. Drop a like.
Yeah. This has been Alec.
Charlie.
I'm Joseph.
You guys are awesome.
Stay metal, guys.
Stay metal.
Brutal.
Something moving, you got your